Welcome back to Books with Duddy. We are back with another spoiler-free book review today. And the book we are talking about is called Heartwood by Amity Gaige. So as I said, this will be spoiler-free, but I'll kind of talk about what I thought about some of the characters, the writing style, spoiler-free thoughts about the ending and all of that kind of stuff. And then a couple days from now, or depending on when you're watching this already, I will have a video that I go into my spoiler thoughts of what I really thought about the characters and the ending and their decisions and all of that fun stuff. So if you're interested in hearing a review about Heartwood, stick around because we're about to get started. So Heartwood is about a hiker named Valerie who is 42 years old and is hiking the Appalachian Trail. Valerie then vanishes and is reported missing. And so we follow a couple different people in the book that I'll talk about. Number one is basically the warden, the person in charge of putting the search together for Valerie, and her name is Beverly, Lieutenant Beverly. I can't remember her last name. Miller, I think it's Beverly Miller. And so the story, we learn very quickly into the book, I don't think it's a spoiler at all, that we are going to get multiple perspectives in the book. So we have chapters that are from Beverly's perspective, and then we have chapters from Valerie's perspective as well. And then there are some other characters, some other chapters that are like interviews with people, and then another character that comes in later that I'm going to leave out for now. So I did not love the characters in this book. I honestly found them to be a little bit whiny. Beverly wasn't so bad, but just overall, I didn't feel really connected to any of the characters, even Valerie. I can't really say too much without going into more what I feel spoiler territory, but for me, I did not like these characters very much. Now, as far as the plot, and very interesting, right? Hiker goes missing. I think this was actually very loosely based on a true story. Although, people go missing from hikes all the time. So I think the plot had a lot of potential, and this book, it was in I think it says it's a thriller, suspense, mystery, all of these things, and I felt that there was a complete lack of tension throughout the book. I can't even think of one. There was maybe one, 5 or 6 page chapter in the entire book where I felt there was any tension, where we were building towards any sort of climax. As I said earlier, we get Valerie's perspective in the book. So, and it's a real-time perspective, and we know that. So we know that she's not dead. I'll leave it at that. We know she's not dead. So there was just no tension about it because of that, to me. And I think this is going to be unpopular, as will my whole review of this book, but I thought the pacing was so slow. Even though the book's only 250 pages, it was the same thing over and over every chapter. It's they get up another day to do the search. Okay, then there's a chapter, and then there's an interview with someone from the trail. Then they get up and they do another search. and it's the same thing over and over. Like, it started getting interesting at the end, but it never went anywhere. I'll leave it at that. Now, I will say, I think the way that the book is written, like, it's very descriptive of nature, and I like that because, I could imagine, being out there on the trail or, wherever. And so I did like that. And, it's always fun to have multiple perspectives going on in a book. But even Valerie's perspective, it's so bizarre because it's like she's writing a journal to her mom, but just the way she's writing it is just bizarre. Like, it flips. She'll write down these thoughts in like journal form, but then go completely off the rails on it, like a weird tangent. And yeah, I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me. So, I mean, if you're looking for a thriller book, I would pass on this. I would not consider this a thriller. There's some mystery, a little bit, but it never really goes anywhere. And there are multiple things that don't go anywhere that seemed like they would be relevant early in the book when you hear them. And they're just like never addressed again, which is very weird. But anyways, yeah, if you're looking for a thriller, I would skip this one. I don't really know who I would recommend it to because I just did not like it. Maybe if you're just love reading about people in nature in a fictional setting. Well, I mean, the setting's real, but like, in a fictional story, I guess. But yeah, this book wasn't for me. And, if you're interested to hear more about why, I'll share that in my spoiler video coming up soon. As far as my rating, though, I'm going to give this a 2.9. It's a short book at 250 pages, and it was a slog for me to get through. So, I know that other people do like this book, and I'm glad about that. Every time I do one of these and I hate the book, I always feel a little bit awkward, but we have different tastes. So anyways, I would really appreciate a like and subscribe, and I will be back with more soon, and I hope to see you there.